The geopolitical temperature in the Middle East is rising sharply. A series of military strikes, retaliatory attacks, and increasingly aggressive statements from military leaders are pushing the region toward a dangerous threshold. What began as targeted operations between Iran, United States, and Israel is now evolving into a crisis that could reshape the balance of power far beyond the region. The latest escalation has triggered intense international scrutiny, not only because of the military exchanges taking place, but also because of the growing involvement of powerful allies. Strategic alliances are tightening, military assets are repositioning, and analysts are increasingly warning that the conflict may no longer remain limited to a single theater. One of the most striking developments came from Apti Alaudinov, a lieutenant general and commander of the Akhmat Special Forces, an elite formation originating from Chechnya. The unit has been actively involved in combat operations alongside Russian forces during the war in Ukraine. In a public statement, Alaudinov declared that his forces are ready to support Iran if the conflict continues to escalate. According to Alaudinov, the Akhmat forces are prepared to provide weapons and deploy thousands of fighters if Tehran requests assistance and if Russian leadership authorizes such action. He stated that he would be ready to deploy immediately to assist Iran in resisting potential military operations conducted by the United States and Israel. His remarks included the possibility of direct confrontation with American forces if the situation develops into a larger war. The statement reflects growing concern among some Russian military figures regarding the direction of the crisis. Tensions surged dramatically after the United States announced the beginning of a large-scale military operation targeting Iranian assets. On February 28, 2026, U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed the launch of a major operation against Iranian targets. Shortly afterward, U.S. and Israeli strikes reportedly hit several military and strategic locations across Iranian territory. Iran responded with missile and drone attacks aimed at Israeli targets and American military facilities across the region. The confrontation quickly expanded beyond isolated strikes. Military alerts increased across strategic maritime zones, particularly around the Persian Gulf and nearby sea routes, where several vessels were reportedly targeted during the escalating exchanges. At the same time, the growing alignment between Russia and Iran has become a critical factor shaping the geopolitical landscape. Over the past decade, Moscow and Tehran have steadily expanded their political and military cooperation. Both countries coordinated closely in Syria to support the government of Bashar al-Assad during the Syrian conflict, strengthening a partnership that continues to influence regional power dynamics. The relationship deepened further after the outbreak of the large-scale war between Russia and Ukraine in 2022, known as the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Western governments have repeatedly accused Iran of supplying drones and other military equipment used by Russian forces during the conflict. Moscow and Tehran have denied these accusations, stating that their cooperation is legitimate and extends across multiple sectors including defense, economic development, and security coordination. Recent intelligence claims have added another layer of tension. According to reports citing American officials, Russia may have shared certain intelligence information with Iran that could assist Tehran in tracking the movement of U.S. military forces. Such intelligence could include satellite data, electronic surveillance information, or maritime tracking data capable of identifying the location of American naval assets or aircraft operating in the region. If such intelligence sharing occurred, it would represent a form of indirect strategic support. In modern warfare, information can be as decisive as weapon systems. Accurate targeting data can dramatically increase the effectiveness of missile and drone strikes, particularly against mobile military platforms such as naval groups or forward-deployed air bases. However, there is currently no confirmed evidence that Russia has deployed troops to fight alongside Iranian forces, or that Moscow is directly coordinating attacks against American military units. For now, the situation remains within the sphere of strategic signaling, intelligence cooperation, and geopolitical positioning. For some Russian military figures, the confrontation is seen as part of a much larger geopolitical struggle. Alaudinov warned that if Iran were weakened or defeated under Western military pressure, Russia itself could eventually face similar pressure. From this perspective, the conflict surrounding Iran is not simply a regional crisis, but part of a broader contest between Western powers and states challenging their global influence. Military planners are now closely monitoring whether the confrontation will remain limited or shift toward a wider regional war. The presence of American bases across the Middle East means that any prolonged conflict involving Iran could quickly place U.S. personnel and infrastructure at significant risk. Air defense systems, naval strike groups, and rapid response forces are already operating under heightened alert conditions. The strategic geography of the region further complicates the situation. The waters of the Persian Gulf remain one of the most heavily militarized maritime corridors in the world. A significant portion of global energy shipments passes through nearby choke points, particularly the Strait of Hormuz. Any disruption to this route could trigger immediate global economic consequences, turning a regional military confrontation into a broader international crisis. For Russia, the situation requires careful strategic calculation. Moscow continues to maintain its partnership with Iran while avoiding direct military confrontation with the United States. Analysts believe Russia may prefer to support Tehran through diplomatic backing, intelligence cooperation, and political alignment rather than open military intervention. Meanwhile, defense forces in Israel remain on constant alert as Iranian missile and drone capabilities continue to expand. The possibility of coordinated attacks from multiple directions has forced Israel to maintain an extensive defensive posture. Missile interception systems, early warning radar networks, and rapid strike capabilities are all playing a critical role in preventing the situation from escalating further. What makes the current moment particularly dangerous is the combination of active military operations, tightening alliances, and increasingly confrontational rhetoric from multiple sides. In such an environment, even a limited miscalculation, whether at sea, in the air, or through a long-range strike, could trigger a rapid escalation involving additional global powers. The Middle East is now standing at a critical geopolitical crossroads. The decisions made in the coming weeks will likely determine whether the current confrontation stabilizes through diplomatic pressure or evolves into a far larger conflict. For now, the world is watching closely. Military forces are repositioning, alliances are hardening, and the margin for error is growing smaller. In an environment defined by rapid escalation and strategic mistrust, the next move by any side could reshape the security landscape not only of the Middle East, but of the world.